Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and hoes, bitches and hoes, Merry Christmas! Okay, it's not quite Christmas as of yet, but upon realizing that Kingdom Hearts 3, well, actually lasted surprisingly longer than I thought, but not quite enough for the Yuletide season, so yeah, I figured it's just like a bit of a quick break slash game to sort of tide people over while I get more Jak and Dax to the Precursor Legacy recorded. Megaman X, don't talk back. Megaman X, don't talk back. I have no idea why I'm doing that to the theme of Yakety Yak, but whatever. Megaman X, short enough game, but yeah, should be something. As a bit of a Christmas-themed game, even though it isn't really Christmas-themed, it's just one that's easy enough for me to play, and yeah, we pretty much get something fun to do. In any case, though, for those of you not exactly in the know with your Mega Man mythos, what is Megaman X compared to the classic one, which was just a light-hearted whatever sort of game? Well, we're pretty much getting the explanation right here. Megaman X is part of a new generation of robots known as Reploids, which contain the ability to think and feel on their own. So, yeah, they don't need to be programmed with pre-baked instructions, nor do they need, like, a master in order to, actually issue those commands. So instead they can think and feel on their own, but they're still bound by the 3 laws of robotics. An attempt to break those laws, as you'll, again, see with this thing, by X requiring about 30 years of testing in order to ensure his reliability. Yeah, basically it's running simulations to ensure that robots don't turn, well, what would later be known as going maverick. In essence, basically, if they break Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, where robots harming humans, because that's a bit no bueno. But yeah, in essence, basically, Dr. Light, who was the creator of X and the original Mega Man, yeah, he pretty much stored X away in order to ensure his reliability, but Dr. Light, as he's saying right here, is pretty much gonna die before any of that can take place, because, he was already old as fuck in the classic series, and, yeah, by the time of Mega Man X, he was pretty much on his deathbed, so, yeah, here we go. Mega Man 10! Or X. Which is there to imply limitless potential as a mathematical formula, and not the Roman numeral X, because, honestly, I'd imagine that people will be wondering, hey, what the fuck, we missed out on Mega Man, like, 7 through 9, so, what the fuck? Even though we did eventually get those games, but acquiesced, really. In any case, though, that's pretty much the basic gist of what Mega Man X really has to offer. I will be going into a little bit more detail as we get into our first stage, just as soon as I'm done fucking about with the options. But yeah, I am playing this on the Megaman X Legacy Collection, so, it does actually, the only real differences between this and the SNES card is that it does offer you a save feature, which, it has in lieu of a traditional password system, as you would see on the original cartridge, but apart from that, that's just more modern conveniences, really. In any case, off we go. Jumping right into the gameplay. Oh yeah, with a trope that Mega Man X games will copy ad infinitum with a run across a stage of a city highway to an acquiesced, really. But yeah, in terms of what you're starting off with the gameplay, it's pretty much, again, I'd say it's arguably taking, cues from Mega Man 6, arguably the best classic game in the Mega Man series, well, for the classic series anyway. Yeah, by pretty much having Mega Man just do his usual thing. You have your Mega Buster from, Mega Man 4. The only real difference between X and Mega Man Classic at this stage is that X has the ability to wall jump, where again, if you get towards a wall, you can pretty much kick your way up and, yeah, platform to new heights, really. But all of the side is very much just sort of, run, jump, and shoot man as you know and love it. So, I guess to get back into further context of anything else apart from just destroying, your basic-ass robots, which in the future are now referred to as mechanoids, for whatever reason. Yeah, what exactly is X doing? And he's obviously freed from his capsule, but yeah, that does also sort of come into bits and pieces of hints that you sort of get. Again, you might have noticed in the original, like in the initial stat screen describing like, oh, Mega Man X, he has like a 626 hex matrix adapter and a Mark 17 Buster, Mega Buster thing, whatever. But yeah, Mega Man X was eventually freed by Dr. Kane, who then discovering, X's advances in robotics technology, eventually decided to mass produce it, by ostensibly creating what he called Reploids, and, yeah, a lot of robots that have the ability to think and feel were copied from X's design. And yeah, one of those creations was, and again, you won't really be learning this until a little bit later, was, Sigma. I don't know whether or not it was implied that he was the first Maverick, or if he was, like, the first, Reploid creator, but either way, Sigma basically went rogue. Again, the term Maverick, pretty much there for robots deciding to rebel, rise up against their fleshy human masters in typical Matrixy Terminator-esque fashion. And as a result of which, yeah, robots who go Maverick are pretty much terminated by what they call Maverick Hunters, which is what Megaman X has pretty much been poured into. And yeah, that's basically what we have here. He's pretty much Police Officer Megaman, you know, he isn't stopping a wacky mad scientist akin to Dr. Wily in the old days, but is instead there to pretty much play policeman towards robots gone bad. So, off we go. Megaman X. Don't talk back, kill Mavericks, and that's pretty much the end of the story, really. I'd say that's... No, I'll save my cynical thoughts for later. Megaman X doesn't deserve the flack that a lot of later X games did for not really capitalizing on, you know, what was otherwise a fantastic game, really, for its first outing. I mean, most Mega Man games were killed to have this level of quality on its first time out, but again, I attribute Mega Man X's quality primarily down to the fact that, well, again, it was coming off the back of Mega Man 6, which was a really well-designed game, and again, I didn't just say it idly that I think it's the best classic Mega Man game for a reason. I mean, again, I do think genuinely a lot of its design practices does pay dividends towards a lot of its, you know, gameplay formula success, which you will be seeing as we go on throughout the game, but, yeah, you can tell where a lot of its DNA came from, and quite frankly, I promise I wasn't gonna get cynical, not in part 1, but, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a prelude slash forewarning, is that, yeah, Mega Man X, for as much as I'm probably going to be gushing about the game, it isn't my favourite Mega Man sub-series. Again, I mean, if you've seen anything from this channel, though, yeah, from what I mentioned before, again, when it comes to the Mega Man games that I'm appreciative of most, you know, Mega Man Legends, Battle Network, and the Zero series is pretty much where I'm at. And, everything else I can just sort of take or leave, really. Like, I mean, again, I don't hate the X series, but it does have a lot of wasted potential, and again, you know, Mega Man X1 is a good proof of concept. It's more the games after that that really just sort of, well, I wouldn't say completely shit the bed, it's just more a case of flounder around, not really doing much of anything, and by the time the series did get its act together, well, it was too little too late. Much in the same vein as how it's too little too late for X to do anything against, well, one of our key Mavericks. This is Vava. He was once a Maverick Hunter, much like X himself, but, yeah, he apparently loved killing a little bit too much, and as a result, it didn't really take much to convince him to go Maverick, and as such, Vava is pretty much, well, going evil. And yeah, he's pretty much invincible in this state, so I don't think you're going to be taking out his little ride armor right then and there. So yeah, you're very much at the mercy of, you know, Jango Fett. Actually, no, this would have been before Episode 2. Long before, actually. So, yeah, you're pretty much at the mercy of Boba Fett, which I believe is why he was named Vava to begin with, but because that sounds strange to the English tongue, he was later renamed Vile, which would later create a bit of a continuity snafu for the Japanese and American name changeover for a certain main villain of the Mega Man Zero series, but speaking of which, I'll stay my tongue. Voice acting time, go. You worthless piece of scrap metal. Did you think you could defeat me? I guess I'm not powerful enough to defeat him. X, you shouldn't expect to defeat him. He's designed to be a war machine. Remember, you have not reached your full power yet. If you use all the abilities you were designed with, you should become stronger. You may even become as powerful as I am. I'll scout ahead and collect as much information on Sigma's fortress as I can. I'll meet up with you when you get there. See you later. X, I know you can do it. And so, that was our introduction to Zero. In this game, basically the character there to say, hey, you want to be cool like this sick as hell looking dude that the developers quite clearly favored? Well, just gain some power-ups, learn how to play the game, and eventually you can be as cool as Zero. But yeah, this is very much a select screen, pretty much in the same style of Mega Man Classic, where you select several different, Mavericks in place of our Robot Masters, and you can actually identify which ones they are and which ones you want to take on first. A lot of people usually take on Club Penguin, the one that you're seeing like on the top right over there, but, I don't know, this is just me being stubborn, but I wanted to make my playthrough different, so instead of, choosing Club Penguin, which is one of the easiest Mavericks to take on first up, I instead decided to go for Flame Mammoth. Partially because you also get Club Penguin's weakness from Flame Mammoth to begin with, but in turn you also, well again, we're going to be getting into that a little bit later, because again, there is a bit of backtracking involved with certain power-ups we collect throughout the game, but, yeah, stage dynamics. Again, Flame Mammoth, again, obvious by the theming, in case your eyes don't work anymore, is very much all about, the heats and the lava and the flames and whatever, so, yeah, in this case, yeah, Flame Mammoth has flame all over the stage, but, again, if you do tackle Club Penguin's stage, then what happens is that, again, if you beat him first, then all this lava is frozen over. So, yes. You do actually have different stage dynamics that change up certain parts of the levels, which, I don't really seem to recall a lot of the X series really doing. I recall, and again, I only really say this because I was playing the game recently, I recall Megaman X3 doing something like this, somewhat, like how in Bills of Buffalo stage, again, if you tackle Volt Catfish, then you have like lights that turn on in the underground area that melt the snow. Again, just little small things like that, which, either add or subtract hazards depending on which Mavericks you take out first, so, yeah, that's also part of the reason why I did actually want to showcase Flame Mammoth stage first and foremost, because while you don't technically get one of X's essential upgrades first and foremost, as you would in Club Penguin stage, yeah, what basically happens is that, again, if you do that first, then you pretty much end up missing out on, what I would say arguably makes Flame Mammoth stage a little bit more cooler in terms of hazards to dodge, namely fire geysers, which add a bit more spice to the level, because otherwise it's just, basic platforms that you're just hopping to and fro without much of a threat besides those, axe-throwing douchebags from Mega Man Classic. Those ones from, like, Gutsman stage that pretty much threw axes at you, laughed at you, and it just made me rather angry. Yeah, particularly when you were riding those, like, instant drop platforms that pretty much fucked you over. But yeah, the reason why you want to do Club Penguin stage first is, again, when you freeze over the lava, you pretty much don't have to worry about getting pipped every which way and sideways from lava, and you can get that heart tank, which, again, as you saw there, increases your health by a very minute amount, so, yeah. I mean, to talk about everything else, really, in terms of what Mega Man X is going to have you collect, I mean, again, you're going to be finding, heart capsules to collect, you're going to be finding bonus weapons by defeating several Mavericks, as you would in the classic games, and in turn, yeah, just a few little unique upgrades for X himself to, realize his full potential, as the X in Mega Man X is there to invoke. Oh, mathematics, how I both loathe and love you for being the building blocks of our scientific process. But yeah, all that aside though, like, in terms of tackling your stages first and foremost, like, I do think Flame Mammoth stage is actually a fairly decent one to get accustomed to. Like, again, the stage itself isn't too again, you do have those axe-throwing douchebags, but again, they're more of a hindrance than, any real threat. So, again, you should get past this level just fine. And even when dealing with Flame Mammoth, although, again, without his weakness, it does kind of, run the gamut of a little bit in terms of being a little bit, more difficult than what you would otherwise get. I don't know. I feel like it's a very easy boss to take out if you're adept at jumping and dodging, really. I mean, particularly since, again, if you can pattern lock some of the Mavericks here and there, like, again, it can actually, be quite gangbusters in terms of how you take them out, but, then again, if you are doing Buster-only runs, as is popular with a lot of Mega Man games, it can be a wee bit of a pain in the arse. Again, particularly if you want to try and go the most efficient route on Mega Man X3, which I'm only really bringing up because I'm playing it right now, where, again, if you are trying to do a Buster-only run, it really sort of depends on your luck, and just, dear God, Kaiser Sigma and, Tornado Rex, or Tornado Fang, whatever the fuck, Tunnel Rhino I think his name was. Again, pretty easy boss to take out, but I still have the worst fucking luck with them. In any case, though, here's Flame Mammoth himself. Now, in terms of Flame Mammoth's attacks, again, he pretty much just, jumps up and down, and, again, like, when he does his, jumping up and down, making craters in the ground, like, such as his nature, yeah, he does basically shoot out fire. He uses his strong also to, put out a bit of an oil slick to pretty much trip you over, and when he does this big jump like that, he also has a tendency to, pretty much knock you off of walls and then pretty much make you, stammer a little bit, as you'll be seeing soon. So yeah, like that, he pretty much has a chance to, you know, knock you flat in your ass and get a chance to pip you, really, but again, he's not really too difficult to take out in spite of that. I mean, he is a pretty big guy, but again, if you know how to, you know, avoid his jump arcs and to, you know, jump over him, yeah, nothing too bad. Except when I block with my face, such as its nature. No, I guess I didn't get blocked in the face just yet. But yeah, again, in Mega Man Classic tradition, again, if you are using certain attacks to, you know, weaken the boss, there is actually two unique little animations you actually do get with, you know, certain weapons of Mega Man X. See, look, I'm firing that way. That means he's my friend. Grablamo! But yeah, we're going to be seeing certain attacks with Flame Mammoth a little bit later. Not necessarily in terms of attacks he can do, but more attacks we can do to him with, well, two of our special weapons, really. Yeah! And what is the spoils of war? We have obtained Fire Wave. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's Mega Man tradition at this stage where we pretty much get, you know, elemental-based attacks, which is hence why they have like, oh look, it's Fire Man, oh no, it's Heat Man, no, it's Flame Man, no, it's Shit Man. Ugh, Capcom, you fucking cartoon jokers. How you were able to take like an Astro Boy ripoff concept and like 5 or 6 fucking archetypes and make like 500 fucking games out of that is anybody's guess, but in any case, now we have our second Maverick that most people usually take on first, Chill Penguin. Yeah. Now, part of the reason why a lot of people usually take on Chill Penguin stage first is, well, primarily because, again, pretty easy first stage, even if you do have a tendency to get pipped by small rabbits, loggers who were there for some reason, and, you know, bees, my god, thought it would have been a bit too cold for them, but then again, these are robots, not, organic life forms, which will gradually become less and less as the Mega Man series goes on, especially by Legends, where humanity is, well, a bit persona non grata, unless you count carbons. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I mean, in terms of what you can actually get, I guess another reason why I did decide to go after, you know, Flame Mammoth first is that the Fire Wave actually does come in useful in terms of uncovering hidden secrets, where, again, if I can actually praise anything about Mega Man X, is that yeah, it actually does give you more of a reason to utilize your sub-weapon, or sub-weapons? Yeah, I guess so. It gives you more of a reason to utilize some of your sub-weapons a lot more than what you otherwise would have in Classic Mega Man, where you would have either been saving it up, just to make sure that you don't, you know, run out when you get to the boss encounter to have an easy means of the, you know, the game's whole rock, paper, scissors mechanic. Again, you know, finding a character's weakness and then taking them out. And in turn, well, using them to explore, which, again, as part of an exploratory video gamer that I am, I can dig like a shallow grave, so yeah, it's a lot of fun to utilize your weapons. But in terms of also utilizing further mechanics, will come in the form of, capsules. Again, if you remember beforehand with Dr. Light, well, yeah, I'll just let him explain it, so, yes, let's see a blast from the past. So you've come, ho 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 ho, welcome Mega Man X. X, I gave you the ability to choose your own path in life. Ho 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 ho, jolly good show. And I hoped the world would allow you to choose a peaceful one, filled with merriment and love of the children. But now it seems that you are destined to fight. Yes, ho ho ho, fight for everlasting peace. Because I thought that you might need a new champion, that is to say the world. I have hidden capsules like this one all throughout the world, several in fact, throughout 8 hidden games. If you find them, you will be able to increase your powers, ho ho ho, beyond anything the world has ever known. Better not suck your dick too hard there, Dr. Light. Step into this capsule and receive a new acceleration system for your powers, and Merry Christmas, X! Ho ho ho! Ah yes, you see, now you know why this is a Christmas commentary, because I gave Dr. Light a Santa Claus voice, and yeah, his design was also based on Santa Claus, so yeah. In any case though, this is the dash ability, something that would actually become standard for Mega Man X in games going forward, starting from X2, and yeah, pretty much helps you to sort of, you know, dash jump here and there, and, yeah, this is a rather useful ability, and, in a similar vein to, well, again, what you would have had with some of the, you know, the rush upgrades from Mega Man X, Mega Man X6, no, from Mega Man 6, yeah, this is basically an evolution of the concept. permanent upgrades where, again, you don't necessarily need to worry about, like, a rush meter or whatever running out. Instead, you pretty much have these upgrades to keep, and, yeah, you can just sort of keep on trucking, really. Oh, and finally we get to play with the ride armor that Vava tormented us with. But yeah, again, if you don't have the ride armor to destroy these, use the fire wave, and bada bing, you do the thing, and you get a nice little heart tank for your troubles. Ah, content Nui. But yeah, that's also part of the reason why I wanted to grab the fire wave early on, so we could get that pretty much taken care of fairly snappily, and in turn the fire wave also coming in handy in a lot of later levels, as I mentioned beforehand. But yeah, as for the ride armor, you can technically dash jump with it as well. Well, actually, no. Technically, you can't bypass the dash upgrade in Chill Penguin's level, so yeah, I guess you pretty much already have it as standard. Although, whether or not that's already standard in the ride armor, I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty much it, really. In any case, so not too much else left to really say at this stage, but yeah, your weapons playing into exploration, again, makes for a great use out of the concept, and again, like, I mean, in terms of being the next big step for the Mega Man franchise, I mean, this really was it, both in terms of gameplay, story, being set 100 years after the fact of, Mega Man Classic, and, again, you can pretty much see that right here on, Mega Man X1 being a great proof of concept. So, here we go. Am I going to use the Fire Wave or the Mega Buster? No one knows. But yeah, I mean, Chill Penguin is pretty easy to take out with a Mega Buster given his pattern, but, I figured just for the sake of showing it off first and foremost, I might as well just use his weakness, which does have a tendency to sort of pattern lock him. Like, I mean, even if I'm getting pips right here and there, you see that right here, it pretty much resets his pattern to, oh, nope, better slide down here, back again, oh, slide down here and back again, which kind of trivializes an already pretty easy boss fight, so, Flame Grilled Penguin. Whack, 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 whack. Oh dear, he's changed up his pattern. Oh no, wait, no he didn't, he stuck to the same thing. Oh, Chill Penguin. Yeah, usually what he's meant to be doing here is, and something you probably won't be seeing until the boss rush, is that he's actually meant to be like putting up like a few certain statues here and there, and again, when he does that little brush attack, that's pretty much when he's meant to, utilize that blizzard to slide the statues into you, and then he does this little jump attack to take you down. So, yeah, we've kind of trivialized Chill Penguin, but honestly, he's trivialized enough even if you're doing a Buster-only run, so, yeah, whatever. But as our spoils of war, we get the Shotgun Ice. But yeah, there goes one of the more famous Mavericks of the Mega Man X series, and one who's trivialized in this first encounter. But in any case, that's all we have for this day, so on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and stay tuned for more Mega Man X action. Catch you dudes and dudettes later.